So Nicholas Pegues reporting happy Sunday to Buckingham Palace and of course to everyone at the White House. As a young Republican, I am proud of President Barack Obama as the first minority leader of the United States of America. I don't speak about his political policies or anything of that sort, and I'm never going to speak regarding that subject. But I often hear stories of many of my family members who helped build Memphis, who helped, part of the founding of Memphis, especially in conjunction with Collins Chapel Historic District, and they often express about how the president was a distant leader, how, like how I reached Pope Benedict XVI, and he's a distant leader to us here in the United States. At one point in American history, the president was almost like the Pope to a large degree to the African American community, to the Latino community, and even to the Jewish community. A lot of people were disconnected from the President of the United States. So it's a great honor for the President of the United States, especially the first minority President of the United States, to write me as a descendant of Victorian Village, College Chapel Historic District. My family has gone all the way back to helping with people on campaigns. We have a long history of helping Memphis and developing Memphis, and so that's a separate story. But at any rate, in honor of that cultural diversity tied with the White House, and of course, with President Barack Obama always writing me as a young Republican, I'm going to be reading out a letter regarding diversity, and of course, wish everyone a happy Sunday from around the world. It's expressed, Dear Nicholas, thank you for taking the time to write. I've heard so many personal accounts from individuals and families across our country, and I appreciate you sharing your story with me. Each day I read letters from Americans so I stay connected to their real life and diverse experiences. By working together and involving all Americans in shaping the policies that affect us, we build a brighter future for ourselves and for our nation. Thank you again for sharing your story with me. We wish you all the best in the future. And let's not forget the legacy of all of those who struggled to be the first minority president of the United States. So Nicholas Pegues reporting. I often hear stories from a lot of my elders about how distant the president really was, in the 20s, the 30s, even in the 19 teens. It was almost like it was almost like how I reached the Pope back then is how the president was to them in that era. So Nicholas Pegues reporting. I'd like to wish a happy Sunday to the president and Mrs. Obama as a descendant of Victorian Village, College Chapel Historic District, and as a recipient of Pope Benedict the 16th as well. I'm going to read out this letter from the Archdiocese of Chicago once more. It says, Dear Nicholas, thank you for your short letter asking how we can stay united under the children of God during these extraordinary times. The first way to remain united to God is through regular daily prayer and reception of the sacraments of the church. Prayer brings us into contact not only with God, but all those whom He loves. In order to understand who God is, our faith must be strong and we must be well instructed in it. Ways to strengthen the faith during the church's celebration of the Year of Faith are probably available to you from your local diocese. Faith is merely individual, it is always communal. Reflection on how to live the faith together is something that you can do as someone who tries to bring together faith and public life. Circumstances alter this relationship between faith and public life from time to time, but it is in particular importance now, as your letter indicates. May the Lord guide you and keep you strong in your faith as you try to serve others. You and those you love are in my prayers, and it says sincerely, the Archbishop of Chicago. Nicholas Pegues reporting. Happy Sunday. May God save the Queen. May God bless everyone at the Vatican. And happy Sunday to everyone at the White House from the great state of Tennessee. From Nicholas Pegues, also known as the Governor for the United States Congress, 2014, inspire my generation to public service. And of course, I was the youngest Shelby County Unified School Board applicant nominated to represent East Memphis and Germantown, Tennessee. Thank you, and happy Sunday.